Hello, my name is Alistair, and today we're going to be painting up a Cthonian Berserker. These models were absolutely horrible to put together, so yeah, I expected they would be horrible to paint as well. And being the bad mini painter, I am of course up for the task. So first things first, let's give it a nice base layer, a primer of Wraithbone, because that's what I have in stock. And since we do the contrast primer, we might as well use some Crusader skin from the army painter. It does a nice enough job. And then for the pants, we need some lovely Sons of Horus. Yeah, and I highly recommend putting this on in 2 layers to not destroy every single detail that this lovely but horrible to put together model has. And we will give that 2 layers and let that dry, and then give it some shade. I'm going with green shade. The good thing about putting on these base layers and shade and stuff like that is that you don't have to be careful. And being a horrible painter, that's right up my alley. So I'm just basically slapping it on there willy-nilly, however I feel like it. Unfortunately, good things don't last forever, so I have to do some precision work with the Corvus Black. I will use the Corvus Black for the boots and the pads around the pants area. Also, please forgive me. You will see me covering up a lot of the painting I'm doing. I'm trying to figure out the right camera angle, and to be totally honest, I'm not doing a brilliant job at it. That being done, it's time for the lead belcher. Lovely metal, and that's mainly for his axe thingamabob, some pipes. And later on, I will go and do the metal on his sexy body as well. So the whole point of these videos is to get a reasonable result in a fast time as possible. And I've never been really good at the whole painting thing, but once in a while I achieve decent results, so hey, why not? So, Scarlet Blood from Vallejo, and that's only for the handle. I will also manage to cover this up with my hand for a majority of the time. Again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you get the point. You put the red paint on the handle and then looks lovely. Then it's time for non-oil. My favorite shade, and again, there are areas that haven't been painted up. You can just slap it on, and I'll do that on the weapon, and the handle will get some non-oil as well. And that needs the obligatory like 10-15 minutes to dry up before you can do anything else in that area, or else the things will mix together and it will be horrible. For the blade of the weapon, which is this energy thing, I went with Troll Slayer Orange, and again just pretty much slap it on there. A little bit of precision is needed. As you can see, I missed a little bit there, but that's okay. I can fix that later. Actually, as I remember, that's exactly what I do. The weapon has a gradient where it goes from dark orange to almost white, and I am going to try to replicate that in the details part of this video. But for now, it's time for Ulthuan Grey, which I will use for his belt metal area and also his cock part. And then Scrag Brown, and again, beautiful job with the camera, I know, I'm sorry. Hopefully my next video will be better, but I'll decide to do the Scrag Ground on his belt, and that was pretty much all I did with it. And it's one of the most sloppy parts. And then a little bit of lead belcher again for his face, and other metal parts on his body. Oh, now it actually, like, you could feel this. It's a sloppy paint job, but again, looking at it on a table, it would be nice. It would be fine. But we can do a little better. So I will go in with the white scar and do the preparation for my gradient by putting in a white line. I will also, with the white scar, highlight parts of his cock protector and the Otheon grey on his crotch area. And again, covering up everything with my hand. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm using a fairly fine detailed brush for this because I have shaky hands, so it seems like that's a good thing. And then it's time to do the gradient. And I will be doing that by mixing Troll Slayer and Lamian Medium in a 1:1 ratio, and just add multiple layers, slowly moving towards the outside of the axe. So the further outside I get, the stronger the color will be. Now, in theory, and I have had pretty good results with this technique, but it didn't go down too well with this one. But again, decent, passable result if you ask me. And well, I'm bad, so you definitely shouldn't. But you get the point. This is an easy way of doing it. So, next thing, Stormhost Silver, just to highlight his little tiny metal parts and wherever the light would hit the weapon, just give that a tiny little touch of the brush. And again, covering off most of it with my hand. Jesus Christ, what the hell am I doing? So, yeah, Celestial Grey for his beard. I covered up the entire thing with my hand, so I'm just showing the end result. Then we move up onto Ashen Grey, and again I have issues with covering everything up, but I use it to highlight the pads and also to put some streaks into his beard. And the end result is what you see now. Yeah, kind of decent. Then some Evil Suns, and that is for the handle. And again, I'm covering it up with my hand. I don't know what I mean. Jesus, if you're still watching, I'm sorry, but thank you for your support. But again, just a little bit for the handle. Then Spirit Stone for his eye, the middle part, just for the heck of it. Then I went back with the Sons of Horus, basically just to touch up the places that the shade had darkened a little bit too much. And again, trying to go where I think the light would hit, and putting a little bit more paint on that. And now it's onto the base, and I have this idea that my League of Votann army is from an out-mined volcanic world. Like they've been mining the world so much that it has become volcanic. So I'm doing my base in Troll Slayer Orange, and then with the texture on it that will crack. I can't remember the name of it actually, but just basically slap that on, and when that is done, it's pretty much just a question about giving it time to dry, and then I feel like I'm done with this. As you can see in the weapon, the gradient didn't quite work out, but anywho. And the end result looks like this. I feel like that's decent. That's okay. And also remember, when it's on the table, you won't be closed up to it like this. You will be pretty far away. Anywho, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. I don't know why you would, but I appreciate you. And like and subscribe if you feel like it.